Welcome to Guzzler.
Quick disclaimer. Some of the examples we use in this episode are simply there for examples and not actually our thoughts and feelings about particular topics.
There are some arguments that we can say, and there's very logical arguments that we really don't believe between us.
Guzzler Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Guzzler Podcast.
40.
It's 40.
Oh, we're a joke.
Wow.
We are a joke.
Wow.
10 weeks beyond, mate.
Where have you been?
I genuinely thought it was 30, and I thought 30, that's a lot. 40, what? That really is a lot, you know?
Oh no, hang on. It's midway through the quarter. Louis is going to have a month of being a complete spaz.
Oh, great.
So today we're talking about language, specifically the British language and what's sort of different and how it's going and freedom of speech and stuff.
How it's going?
How's language going for you?
Wait, I have no idea what this episode's about. It's about how the English language is going, like how it's getting on.
Yeah.
Just checking in.
No wonder people don't watch this.
Yeah.
Just seeing if the English language is alright. That's it for this week.
What do you reckon? Do you think it's going alright? Do you think it's going well?
I don't know what the question means.
So a school in South London have said that they're banning slang because they wondered if children really know how to use different words in different social settings, and they wondered if it's actually that we should actually ban certain words from being used in places because children are unaware of how to use words. And it made me think of these words they're using. Like what actually is slang, and what words are, I don't know what words are deemed as inappropriate to be used in certain settings.
Beep.
That's not slang, is it? That's just straight out curse word. This is a thing that right. This is a very common thing in schools, and it really annoys me. Right? If they're arguing that they're not using language properly because they're using slang words, then they have words that they are using to mean that whatever they want to say. Right? They have language which conveys their point. That's it. That's the end of discussion. If they can convey what they're trying to say, that is all that matters. You can't be like, oh, these words are a better way of conveying meaning than these words. No, bollocks. That is the way that they choose to speak. That is how it should be. Obviously, I teach science, and there's a big thing in schools where, like, oh, you asked him, say I go up to a kid, right, and I'm like, oh, what's chlorophyll? And he's like, so you got, like, a leaf, right, bruv? And then, like, and he uses a lot of slang. He calls me, like, bruv, and he says, like, bro, and he talks about like yeeting and stuff, right? That is fine. He is talking about science. If that's how he communicates, that is absolutely fine. I have a lot of friends at university, like you've met Nassim. He still talks like that. He has a master's degree in physics. He's doing a PhD. He's a good scientist. He just talks like that because that's where he's from. It really annoys me so much. Yeah, again, there's a difference between, like the way that they write in their exams. They have to be able to write in their exams. That is a fundamental, crucial, examinable skill. But when I'm having a conversation with them about science, if that's the way they choose to speak, that is fine. Do you disagree?
We'll see you next week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
It annoys me so much. It really angers me.
No, I agree with you because
I think all this is the eloquent upper class deciding that tradition is the way forward as always. And we know, I've said it before, tradition is peer pressure from dead people.
Yeah.
It needs to end. This idea of carrying on the formal procedure and doing things the proper way. There is no proper way anymore. No. There's too much diversity in the world. People are too inclusive. There's so many different types of people. There's so many different nationalities, sexualities, genders. It's all going mental. You can't define a normal anymore. So why would we fit language into the same box?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that when they said that they don't know what social settings to use it in, I think it's part of just a learning curve as you go through school. I think that's what school is for, that you learn what words you can say around certain people. And you know when you get to you walk into a job interview and when they go, hello, nice to meet you, you're not going to go, wagwan pussy eye. Like, but going through school is how you get taught those things, and that you know when you go into an interview that you're going to shake their hand and say, oh, hello, lovely to meet you, instead of saying something like that. However, when you've started working in that job, unless you're on the phones going, wagwan pussy eye, when you're talking to your mates at work, you should be yourself. You shouldn't have to talk in any way apart from the way that you are, unless you're addressing customers and they're getting offended by the way that you're talking. When you know people, you should be able to. You should, right? Like when I turned up to every interview I've ever done, I have never gone in full suit and tie. I always go in an unbuttoned shirt, a blazer, skinnies, and necklaces. And my hair, especially when I used to have my hair, like really up high, because in my head I used to think, well, I don't want to work for you if you're not going to like how I am in my personality.
That's what me with tattoos. Because I'm gonna have tattoos whether you like them or not. So why would I want to wear long sleeves?
And I always thought that I'd want them to see me as I am and go, oh, he's like that, instead of me turning up not at all how I am. I know I'm quite different to that now, but back then I would always go to an interview specifically like that. Not it's scruffy, I still look smart, but I would go dressed like that.
Formal, casual sort of. Smart, casual,
I mean, it's also in both cases, language and like dress and stuff like that. It's worth mentioning that the way that we speak now and the way that we dress now isn't how it's always been. It came from an evolution. Like the language at the moment, English at the moment, was not how it's not like when English people first started existing, this is how they spoke. Old English was a completely different language. It developed and it changed. That is how language works. And then dress, there's a bit in Sapiens where he talks about dress, and he talks about how back in the day, if you were wealthy and you were the upper class and you were smart, you used to dress very, very flamboyantly. All of the old kings used to dress in big, fluffy, not fluffy, sorry, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like regal dress used to be. They're not like swans, but
lots of frills and that sort of
thrills. Thing. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah, they used to be very bright, very colourful, whereas now it's like black, streamlined suit. But that's just now. That's just what it is now.
And it will evolve again because colours are coming back in. The psychologists have even said that the idea of personality doesn't exist. It doesn't. It's not a thing that is reasonable anymore. It's so context dependent. It's about how you react to the environment you're in and the people that you're with. So of course your language is going to change depending on
like when me and Louis were in school, we're not the same person as when. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd say compared to the other teachers at school, I am actually a lot more me than they are. But I'm still not. I don't walk in. I'm like, you're right. Beep. How's it going? Like, don't work like
this week
that.
anyway.
He walks in like wagwan pussios.
Like as you said, we still don't talk in ye old English, but we did 150 years ago. So it's evolved and developed, and that is
language
part
changes all
of
the time.
These slang words that we would call slang. They're not really slang anymore, are they? Because what is slang? Because these are words that we use every single day, and more than what we use. Like a lot of regular words, like when we was at school, we would say, "Oh, they're hench," stuff like that, instead of saying strong. But to us, that wasn't a slang word,
and now we say Declan.
Yeah, famously, worldwide, even internationally.
Like all three of us will always go, "Oh, that's sick." Yeah, all right, yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I say sick.
That is a slang word, but so do I. But to us, that's
normal. That's just what we say.
And to be fair, when I'm on the radios at work and I'm saying stuff, and if someone goes, "Yeah, I'll be there," I go, "Yeah, that's sick." Because to me, that's not a slang word. To me, that is just a word in my vocabulary.
Just the way you speak. It's
like... if I was like, "Oh, yes, good." No. "Oh, yes, sick."
It's exactly. I don't really use T's a lot. Like when I say water, I say water, not water. Like, but... And people pull me up, that's got a T in it. Not the way I'll say it.
I know it has a T in it.
Just a fun fact. You know the word in like the front of pub names like THEE?
Yeah.
It's not the, it's the, right? Because what happened is the TH used to be a letter called Thorn, and it was like a line with a little triangle. Thorn had the pronunciation th. So all the is the.
Yeah, that's nice though, is it? Doesn't sound as oldie.
No, it doesn't. But it's not. In the olden times, they didn't say it like that anyway. It
weren't old back then, though.
So I had a look at some new additions to the Oxford English Dictionary to see what new words had gone in it. And it surprised me, actually, because a lot of the words I thought was already in it. Beyblades, yeah.
Recently added.
And a lot of them, I thought...
4-page spread.
That they were going in it.
In the middle of the dictionary.
So I'll show you some of my favourite words for 2021. Body shaming is in there.
Is it? Cable
tie.
You what?
The word cable tie.
Oh, cable tie. It's a table tie. Yeah.
Chapstick. But it's weird that chapstick wasn't already in the dictionary.
That is a bit weird.
Oh, that's because it's a brand name.
Okay.
Chapstick is actually a brand name from some company about 80 years ago. The actual name for it is lip balm.
Chinesey.
Chinesey?
It's something a bit Chinesey.
Is that a word?
Yeah, it is, mate. It's in the dictionary, Oxford English.
Is it?
This year. Yeah, when you go, those chopsticks are a bit Chinesey. Chinky.
Is that in the dictionary?
Put in there this year.
Really?
It's a derogatory term.
You know, ginormous isn't a word. Do you know that? I didn't know
enormous,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
'Cause it's gigantic and enormous. It's just
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
children use to just. It's not a word. That's stupid. That annoys me.
While you got me on the
I don't
topic of chapstick, I've actually just searched up brand names that became words. Did you know App wasn't it's actually a brand name? Apple owned it. I've got some others. Band-Aid. They're actually called sticky plastic.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. They're called adhesive bandage. Biro, bubble wrap.
Only bar,
Cash Point. Cash Point is owned by Lloyd's, the word. Coke, Crockpot, Fiberglass, Hoover.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
I know
Hoover.
Frisbee,
Yeah, I knew Frisbee. Big Frisbee fan.
Jet Ski.
I didn't know that one. I didn't know that.
Wait, what are jet skis meant to be? What are jet skis called then?
I'm now looking. Personal watercraft.
That's
of course.
disgusting.
Lava
Classic
lamp.
P-warts. Just gonna go on my P-warts.
Matchbox.
Matchbox?
Yeah.
What are they meant to be called?
We've got some other words as well that were added this year. Dinger
Dinger.
means penis.
Yeah, right.
Mug, meaning unappealing or unattractive.
Yeah.
I'll say that quite a lot, to be fair.
Transphobe,
It's only just in the dictionary.
yeah, and zipliner. There was about 200 words that were added, but they're just some of the ones that I thought were.
Also, a weird one.
Right.
Zipper.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is. I've got a quiz. I've got the top 10 from Odin Answers. They look at data points.
Awful
throughout
source,
websites
mate. You wouldn't
and
get
see-
that through. Turn it in.
and see what slang words spoken most on the internet. What do you think the number one slang word was spoken in 2020?
I reckon.
Fan.
Up the apple and pears.
Topical. No.
I'll bet,
it was.
I'll bet it's
Imagine
going to
it
be
was.
something like we all really use, but just wouldn't recognise as slang in it.
It's what we used a lot last year and this year.
We used it a lot last year.
And this year, yeah. It's topical.
COVID.
Sort of.
Eh? Oh,
So
no.
the top one was Rona or vid.
Rona.
Ah.
And then the year before that, the top word was yeet.
Yeet.
But the 3 years before that, it was lit.
Lit.
Oh.
Don't we say lit?
No, he does.
So I've got the top 10. I do say lit sometimes, yeah. So I've got the top 10 words that were spoken in slang last year, and you're going to tell me what they all mean. Sus.
Suspicious.
No.
Suspicious.
I had this conversation with my class because they took the piss out of me.
Right.
So I said something was a bit sus, right? And one of them asked me what it meant, and I said, it just means, it's a bit like suspect. And they were like, "No, it means suspicious, you idiot." Same thing, innit?
Yeah, it's a bit suspect.
It's the same
yeah.
thing. My year 7s are just morons. Long story short, I yeeted them out the second story window.
Guzzler
one.
is starting it here. It's no longer sus, it's suspect.
The first 10 died on impact. The last 10 landed on the bodies. They're fine. They broke less and less as they went.
Simp.
That's like a fella who's, or anyone who's a bit of a bottom.
Yeah. The
We're
bottom.
now using slang to decide.
good describer.
to-
It's more slang.
More
What
slang.
do you mean?
Yeah. Bit like I'm trying to
It's-
think of more slang.
it's someone
like a bit
who,
neck
like-
beardy, like a bit I'm trying
Nah,
to think of
it's
slang.
someone who.
It's not, I know.
They put their significant other on a pedestal,
Yeah.
and like put themselves significantly below her.
It means someone who wants to impress someone else.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not what it means.
It is.
That's not what it means.
Poggers.
Great.
what?
That's great.
Poggers.
Some
And
kids
they
poggers is
things
banging.
that you like flick at a stack of other ones. Or
That's
something?
what I thought. That's exactly what I thought it was, Alfie. Apparently, it's someone who's like a Twitch gamer.
Yeah, no, poggers come from what's his face? Fortnite.
What's
And
his face? Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Fortnite.
Yeah, that's him. Poggers just means sick.
Does it?
Poggers.
Does it though? It's not what Louis just said it means.
He's wrong.
He's got the list.
I'm
What
done.
about?
I'm down with the kids.
What about what?
It's fake.
Cap.
Cap? Like no cap?
Yeah. Yeah. No cap.
Yeah,
What's
I know.
no cap mean?
Cap is like it's fake. No cap is not fake. Or have I got it the wrong
What do
way
you
around?
think it is, Alf?
No, and no cap like no bullshit.
Exactly that. It's no BS. Exactly that.
Yeah, I got it.
Exactly that.
I got it. I'm down.
So-
I was waiting for Dec to go. No, it ain't. It's not.
It's exactly what I said.
What did you use?
What
Not.
did you say?
I said cap is fake. No cap is not fake.
That's a bit sus.
It's a bit suspect.
Dope.
Great.
Fire.
Lit.
It means sick, innit? Like, yeah.
We're
Keep
using other
using
slang
slang.
words to describe these.
It means it is of fuck it, sick. Distinguished quality is what it means.
Bet.
What?
Do
Bet.
it. I'll
Bet?
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone tells you to do something, you're like, bet. Yeah, I'll do it. Go on.
Is that slang? Is that just not what bet means?
So what it means is,
If Louis went,
it sort of is what Dec said, sort of, but
If-
the definition is disagree.
I'll
So if you disagree with something,
I'll put it
bet.
in. I'll put it in context. Louis goes, run Alfie over with your car, and I go, bet.
That's
No,
not
it's
at
not what it
all
means.
It is.
context.
It's not
It's-
what it
if Dex-
means.
If I said, Dec, I could beat you in an arm wrestling competition, and
Bet.
Dec said, bet, he disagrees and he's going to prove it.
I reckon I could still run Alfie
I don't
over.
think
You,
people
if I
use
said,
that.
run Alfie over in your car and you bet, you mean you disagree, but I'm going to prove it to you anyway that I'm going to do it.
One moment, I've just got like wine off my desk.
Not again.
Flex.
Declan's weekly degrading session. Is that all of them?
And I wasn't telling you. No, I said flex and Dec just flexed.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
If you what's
You're like
flexing?
showing off, aren't you? Flexing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna flex on something. And glow up.
that's what I did between
queer
14
eye.
and 21.
Queer eye. The definition of glow up is queer eye.
It's queer eye, yeah.
Yeah, it's all of them. Yeah, that's all of them. So what is freedom of speech?
Good question. It is the right to say whatever you want without being persecuted. Except it's
that
not
is right.
at all.
Except it's not. Because we
Yes.
can't say whatever we want.
Yeah,
but
but there's a difference between like criminal persecution and like accountability.
Social justice.
I
yeah.
suppose so.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, free speech doesn't exist anyway, does it? Because there's still laws against like
Hate
if you're
speech.
inciting violence. Hate speech just gets you cancelled.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I'm talking about proper hate speech. I'm talking about like proper hate speech.
Like Preeti Patel, that she's a Nazi. Yeah. When she talks, it's just hate speech.
They were like Westboro Baptist Church.
I'm talking about like actual
Right.
like hate speech.
Or that one that Keir Starmer went to and supported for years. Yeah, that
Not
one.
like everything that you call Nazi.
I
Yeah,
call a
Preeti
lot of
Patel
people
get up for doing
Nazis.
her
I know
job.
you do. That's my point. I know. And I agree with you that they're all terrible people, but I'm not sure Nazis is a good descriptor.
I would.
So, working in a school, then,
You do.
Alfie, if a
Yeah.
student came up to you and said, I hate gays,
Yeah.
would you have to get punished for that?
No, because schools are a building for education, right? So it's different to like being on a social media platform or being in like a public. Like, schools aren't really public spaces. It's like a private place. It's a place of education. If a kid comes to you or a kid says something deeply inappropriate, obviously, I mean, depending on how like extreme it is, there's other ways to go. But I think fundamentally first that education is the solution. Don't get me wrong, something needs to be done about that. But I'm saying that as an educator and stuff, there's got to be better ways than just, oh, here's a detention. I'm not even going to talk to you about what was wrong with that, which I feel like a lot of teachers would just be like.
And this is the problem, because they don't learn. They just get punished for saying something
Yeah,
bad.
this is what I mean. A lot of teachers would just be like, oh, you can't say that, here's a detention, and then they'll never mention it again, which is no solution, because they don't know what was wrong about it or why it was inappropriate, or, what is culturally acceptable or should be acceptable. Yeah.
Because, like, I grew up in a Brexit family, not to shame them, but, like, I have people in my family that voted. Who was Nigel Farage with before
UKIP.
Brexit Party? That's
UKIP.
him. I had family members that supported UKIP.
So did I, mate, but they're dead now, so I won. So it's all a waiting game. Trust me.
But I think there's a very different. There's a massive difference between free speech and what comes of it, because whenever anyone complains about their right to free speech, it's because they want to say something hateful, right? You never hear of the left talking about free speech. Right? It's always people who have something wrong to say, and I say wrong as in morally, not wrong as in wrong. It's always someone who has something wrong to say who complains about their right to free speech. If they were saying something
about free speech,
but
they moan about it because we've used a word that we think is an okay word to use.
Yeah,
and the left say
they say something that they know to be incorrect or politically incorrect or whatever, right? Say if they said they hated homosexuals and they were like, yeah, but it's my opinion, it's my free speech. Anyone else doesn't complain about their right to free speech, but they do, because they know it's wrong, so they have to stand up for their right to say it. Anyone else doesn't care. And this is the argument.
So what if then, if I said now, and to clarify, I do not believe this, I'm just using this. Yeah, okay, fine. So if I said now, anyone who's not white should be burnt or gassed. Right. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
No, because it's inciting violence, isn't it?
Is it?
But I'm not inciting violence.
He doesn't have a platform.
No, because I'm just saying that I think.
I don't know. Them two viewers that we have every week.
But even if I
he
sat
didn't
with you
say
two,
go out and
living
burn
room,
people.
No.
Yeah.
I just said I think that. So can I say that?
Yeah, but the problem is, if you then got fired from your job or something like that, say you were the sort of person to say that, you would then, like Deck is saying, you'd then cry and be like, oh, I have a freedom of speech, I have a right to my job and stuff, which is not true.
Exactly.
You can say what you want to say, but that absolutely does not mean that you cannot be held accountable for it. It's
This
not like,
is it.
Yeah, it's not freedom of action against you. That's not what freedom of speech means. You will lose your job.
You have every right to say
why should I leave my job? Because I haven't said anything wrong.
No, this isn't. This is the argument now, because you have every right to say what you believe, right? You have every single right in the world, and I think you should stand up for what you believe in, right? But if you're inciting hate in any form, right, against anyone, it doesn't matter, right? You should get sacked from your job. You should get what you deserve. It doesn't matter.
So you just said if you hate on anyone, no matter who, you should lose your job.
As in
because Declan, because we called Tories and we mind about Tories an awful lot. So should you now lose your job?
As in minorities, as in anyone who doesn't choose the position they're in. Do you know what I mean? Tories choose to be Tories.
Yeah, they do. But no, look, it's a very, very difficult line to tread. It's a very difficult line to tread. But the point is, though, the argument, and it is an argument that comes up a lot, and it sounds like a good argument until you actually think about it. There was the guy who flew that banner over the football stadium when they were taking the knee.
Yes.
Did you see that? And it was about, not taking the knee, basically, and how it was All Lives Matter. It said All Lives Matter on it, right?
All Lives Matter, yeah.
And everyone was like, he has a right to say that, and he shouldn't be fired, okay? Right, whatever. I don't care. Fine. That's what you think. But everyone's forgetting that companies are still things run by people. If you run a company, why on earth would you want that prick working for you? You wouldn't. You're not detached from the scenario. You're not just some like, oh, imagine you run that company, right? And someone underneath you has said something disgusting that you fundamentally disagree with, and you're like, oh, freedom of speech, though, better keep him employed. No, that's absolutely not how it works.
This is the same.
But then, could you fire someone though if they don't believe in your political stance or something like that because you disagree with their political views?
No, but there's a difference between politics and morality. If someone like my boss, if I turned around and went, I hate homosexuals, I would want them to fire me, as in the scenario. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If one of my co-workers was like, nah, fire them. They shouldn't be around anyone with a brain, right? Which is anyone alive, right? Isolate them. They don't need to be there. If they have that moral view, if they have that stance where no one can touch them, get rid. Doesn't affect me. There's plenty of people to hire.
Politically, socially, is there, do you think, a right way to live? Because we live in a democratic capitalist society where we vote and everyone can have that opinion. But is there fundamentally the right way?
Yeah.
For certain things. Some things.
It's very context dependent too.
If you want to talk about economies and you want to talk about sort of structures of societies and you want to talk about whether freaking railways are nationalised or whatever, I don't give a shit, fine. You can have either opinions on that, that is fine. If you love capitalism, you want to bum it, fine. If you're a socialist, fine, whatever. But we need to stop pretending, and this is the crux of the argument, right? I get the argument of no human should be able to enforce anything upon another human being. I shouldn't be able to say to you that you should respect homosexuals. I shouldn't be able to say that to you because we're all humans. But we need to stop pretending that is not an absolutely abhorrent viewpoint. Because I do just think it's wrong. Because it affects someone else. You hate somebody else. You're acting against another human being. That is fundamentally wrong. I don't care. That is just wrong.
To add on to this, it's not like you're hating them for a reason. You can't think up any logical viewpoint from that argument that makes you hate them. It's just because they exist. It's not like we talk about Tories and we're like, I'll happily say I can't stand a Tory. But it's because the choices they make in the things that they choose to vote for and the things that they put across in their opinions significantly contradicts my entire beliefs of the world and how I see it. It's not like they don't have a choice in that. Of course they have a choice in it.
So let's go one step further then and say about things like just the idea of being nice to people. Like, this is going to seem really petty now maybe, but the idea that when the Tories went, oh well, no, but NHS staff have still got to pay for car parking, and half of Britain went, well, of course they have. Like, you can't not pay for your car park. You investors. And the other half went, why are people paying to go to work and we're not paying them that much anyway? More than half their wages are going on a car park. What on earth are we doing? Surely the right way to live and to run a place would be by letting the people who are frontline workers, people who have been saving people all year round, just not pay to park their car when they're going to work. Surely that is the right way. No matter what political stance you're in, there is a right way.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
So the way this has to be looked at, I think, is the thing that helps the most people, or the people in the most significant way, should be done, right? What I don't understand about people's views on politics is they think that politicians almost have this free reign and they should just do kind of what they need to run the country, no matter what happens, right? And that's what the Tories have done for 80 of the past 100 years. You've got to remember that in the past millennia, Tories have been in power for 80 years. Labour have only had 4 terms. That's it. You can't say that whatever happens to the economy, to social structure, anything, has anything to do with any Labour government. I'm getting into politics now, but I don't want to. The point is, when it comes down to this sort of stuff, the right way to do it, there is no right way to do it, right? It's so context dependent that it has to be seen on such a microscopic level every single time. But it can only work if we have a government that has the capacity and the will to do so. But they can't be asked. And this is the problem, because the MPs, they work for a company, as in each party. They don't represent their constituents anymore, right? It doesn't exist. We live in a representative democracy. We don't live in a democracy, we live in a representative one. You vote for a party, you don't vote for an MP, you vote for the party that best fits your current view of the world, and that can flit as we go along. But in reality, it should be you should vote for the MP that best represents you.
Excellent. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was the idea of animals and their rights. So recently, well, last week actually, well, today, sort of, as we're recording it, the Queen done a speech about animals and the rights that animals have, and it was all very interesting to hear and listen to. And I'm wondering if... Oh, sorry, go on, Declan.
And I'd just like to add, today the government announced that animals were finally, for the first time in history, might I add, animals were going to be sentient beings of their own free will. That was
not
announced
if I have
today.
anything to do with it, mate.
And
the bottomy's all round.
They've also completely banned trophies from trophy hunting in the UK. So if you go to Africa and kill a lion, I think you should have your hands and feet chopped off, but you cannot bring any form of that lion back.
That's my summer ruined.
Can't leave the country, mate. So it doesn't
So I'm
matter.
Four
wondering
lions on tour, mate.
if animals could talk, would they have more rights than what they already do? Like if a dog could just speak, would it have more?
No, because
Yeah.
all I'd
rights than
say
it
is
already
tennis
has?
ball.
Would they have more rights?
Yeah, 100%.
And then would that mean that they're
100%.
sort of running the world with us? Would they
No.
be equal to us? Okay, well I suppose not equal, but they would be something. They'd be almost as, right, because we'd have to give them
Genuine
more
question
things.
though. Say, and this completely ignoring your question though. Apologies. If say the apes rised up, right?
Yeah. Like
We could go with
like
dogs,
the
but
movie.
I'm just trying to keep it as like. Do you think that like human racism would diminish? Because there'd be like another tribe, like another actual bigger faction. Do you think we'd unite as a species and just be racist to them?
Yeah.
That's weird though, isn't it?
But
Something
this
else-
is what...
Well, this is what I thought last week when we was talking about how in this lab there's been these embryos made which are half ape, half human. If they came up and became a species in this world, well, would we segregate them? Would there would be about 10 people of different, and they would need a voice because they'd be able to talk, but they'd be like talking monkeys.
But
Yeah.
no, I think some people would. But personally, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, not everyone now is racist, but like I'm just saying, would the racism would we change? Would we unite a bit
100%.
more than we are now?
Yeah.
It's just weird though, isn't it?
But that's what confuses me about racism, because we literally have the same DNA. Maybe we're out by like 0.0000001%.
I got 4 more chromosomes than you, mate.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
Double, triple threat. No, listen, right? I was gonna say another thing is if we found like aliens or something on Mars, do you think the Earth would become?
Earth.
We'd become one united thing.
Yeah. Earth
Yeah.
versus Mars instead of...
Well, I don't really like dogs anyway, so I like to believe we'd just line them all up and shoot them. But if dogs start speaking and they want their own homes and they want their own, we might as well just put them all down.
That would
It's
really
easier.
mess up the free market economy, wouldn't it? The Tories would really have a real trouble trying to get hold of that.
I'd also argue that I very easily slipped there into just immediate racism of a new species. Just immediately. We need camps. They'll have their own areas if they have to live. I don't want them to, but they can have their own areas, I guess.
So they get freedom from hunger, freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain, injury and disease, freedom from expressing normal behaviours, and freedom from fear and distress. And Dec, I know what you're going to say,
Why are pet vet bills so high?
because that distresses you and not the animal.
But it doesn't though, does it? Because if I can't pay it, they put it down.
So then they're out of pain and
Go
distress.
on, Alfie, say it, you evil prick.
No, I agree with you, Declan. It's a real tragic consequence of the capitalist world we live in, and animals really are they're sort of like a a throwaway thought in humanity. Really, we don't really care
Just
about animals, do we?
Just like that fur rug you've got in your lounge, Louis.
The thing is, do we need vets?
I was just so waiting for you to go. I agree with you, Louis. And you was like, I agree with you, Declan.
Do we need vets? Back in my day, you got the gun out the shed, you walked round back,
And you killed the jockey
and you,
as well
you
as the
coughed
horse.
really loud. When you came back, the dog was dead.
Like an old yeller.
2 in the head.
An old yeller.
You know? That's how we used to do it.
That's not loud enough.
Are they...
He used a BB gun 17 times.
I've looked you in the eyes many a time, Deck, and I can tell you right now you've never shot a dog in the head, so you shut your mouth. You know the all rights things?
Yeah.
Doesn't number 5 just cover the first 4? Aren't the first 4 just redundant?
Freedom from fear and distress. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that covers hunger. They're uncomfortable is
Yeah.
one of their fundamental rights.
So maybe
They need a pillow.
Maybe animals should have one right, and that's just the freedom from fear and distress.
Freedom from fear and distress. Yeah. Also, one of them was normal activity.
Yeah.
How do you quantify that? Some dogs literally eat their own shit.
But they're free to do it.
You're trying to argue to me they have a right to eat their own shit.
Yeah, mate. So do you, to be fair. Oh, I don't take that right away from you.
Do I?
I'm going to stop you.
No one told me. What a
Bit busy.
waste. What a waste. I spend 50% of my time on the toilet.
Right then, Declan, so what are you drinking today?
I was having Bianco Silicane.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
I can't read. I'm assuming it's Italian. It's an organic wine. It says Vino Biologico. I'm assuming it's from Italy. 'Cause it's got Italy on the front.
Russia, probably.
That's not right. There's no description, but it's got store in a cool dark place on the side. It's 11.5%, and to be fair, compared to most organic wines, it was actually quite nice. Normally, they taste like a cat has pissed in grape juice. I'll go for it. It's a good recommendation, actually. It cost me $5.99 from Lidl. It's in their new spring range or whatever they've got going on.
Nice. What are you drinking, Lee?
Same as you, mate. What are you drinking?
Same as you, mate. What are you?
Cool.
Wicklow Wolf is the brewery.
And it's an Apex oatmeal stout. I was actually
You look
trying to
really
read
confused.
because it really annoys me how many different languages are put on the side of this can.
Most of them just say beer.
He's just racist.
No, it's just beer.
Slightly different
beer,
spellings.
Beer.
There can't be
beer.
anyone that speaks a different language than me.
And then there's like 12 different languages of all the ingredients, and I'm like, blimey. But it's quite interesting because actually on this can they've said that the brewery has moved away from using bottles to cans. It's more environmentally friendly, and it keeps the beer tasting better and fresher, which is interesting because I prefer drinking beer out of bottles.
I like a bottle.
Yeah, I
mate.
do.
Yeah. Love a good bottle. Did we talk about what the pant thing meant? We did, didn't we?
I think so.
One pant. It's in like some other countries you can like trade your cans in
That's it.
for like money and like a slight refund and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's big in Germany, isn't it?
Yeah. So the pant thing on the side just tells you like sort of how much your can is worth or whatever. So
Well,
like one pant's like the
That's
lowest
pretty
one.
sick,
Good.
to be fair.
I'd argue we should 110% have that in our
Yes,
country.
I think so too. Yeah.
but
we do
capitalistic. It's not the circular economy, is it?
So we've had
Tis not
we've
indeed.
had some Wicklow Wolf ones before. I actually quite like it.
Have we?
We've had at least one or two, I think.
Have we?
Yeah. I remember seeing all the different languages on the side of the can. It's 6.5%, which is quite strong for a beer.
Yeah, I mean most of our ones out of these cans now are though
Yeah,
recent, aren't they?
what do you think, Alf? What do you reckon?
I actually really liked it.
I really liked it.
You're not an oatmeal stout fan,
At
typically.
all.
You're not a stout fan
No,
at all,
that
really.
I'd happily have a pint of that. I would happily drink that.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Really?
Very, very nice. Very nice. Declan, you are next week.
we hope so.
I hope so. Anyway, yeah, I hope so.
I am. We're either. So I've nearly finished the brilliant Grace Beverley's book. So we might be either talking about society's obsession with productivity, or the other topic has just left my head, and I'm really annoyed.
Mr.
about
Men,
it.
Mr. Men books.
Thank you for listening, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to this Guzzler podcast.